start the recording. Yeah, we're live.
Okay.
Well, thank you all for coming. If you have questions at any point in time during the session, please do let us know, and I will try and throw this to you. I'm not very good, so please duck. But wait till you get the microphone to ask questions so that it comes across for the recording. Thank you all very much, and over to you.
All right, thank you. All right, thank you everybody for attending this session here in this room or online. My name is Fabian van het Woud, so you probably recognize my last name is not in real English, last name is Dutch. So this coming 25 minutes I'll try to stay away as much from the Dunglish as I can, just to make everything clear for you guys. But I work at a company called Roger365. .io, and I'm working as a business developer manager, meaning that I'm responsible for partner alliance that we have all around the world. And in the coming, let's say, 25 minutes, I'd like to talk about our solution and explain how Roger365 can, let's say, transform Microsoft Teams into a omni-channel contact center. And in this way, it can help the businesses, the enterprises, to increase customer satisfaction and loyalty using, of course, Microsoft Teams. So the agenda of my presentation is that, first we'll do a little bit of short introduction, which hopefully is pretty familiar for most of you. So first, a bit about the struggle that we see for many businesses. Second, of course, how Roger365 and Microsoft Teams can help to overcome these pains, so to say. And when then I will talk more about the features and benefits of Roger365. And at the end, or let's say halfway, there's a short video about how the product looks like, what you can do with it. But of course, we have also a stand here, stand 26, so you can always visit our stand later today or tomorrow if you need to know more about details or scenarios that you think of, or the possibilities that Roger365 can offer. So let's start with at the beginning, and to be honest, I did not follow any other sessions, so maybe you heard this story 20 times before, but what you see is that doing business is becoming more and more digital business, right? And Microsoft Teams is a platform that is used for the enterprises to achieve that goal. But what you see at the same time, that let's say around 2.5 years, 2 years ago, to COVID-19, there was a big push of the digitization for many businesses, because it was the only way they could stay alive, more or less, right? So the people suddenly had to work from home, and one of the biggest growth, let's say, in the IT was Teams deployments, so people could stay at work at home, etc. And Teams is great. You can work with it for collaboration, sharing information, chatting, setting up meetings, all the stuff like that. And generally speaking, that already that digitization, let's say, saves the information and the first line worker hours per week through improved collaboration and information sharing. But at the same time, digitization started from, let's say, from the customer perspective, or me as a person, and it can be B2B or B2C scenario, but already much sooner. All right? I think the iPhone 3 launch was, I don't know, 15 years ago, so that was more or less the start for many of us as to become a digital person. And as a person, I have the choice how to communicate to the business. Again, it doesn't matter if it's a B2C or B2B scenario. I choose how to connect with the bank, or with the university, or with, I don't know, with a web shop or something. And even depending on the type of business, you choose a different type of channel. Or even depending on age. I have a daughter, she's 21, and I really have to tell her to call. if she needs something, right? She rather sends a WhatsApp message or Instagram, DM or whatever they all do now. But calling is not part of it, and it's also even one region. If you do international business, for example, you do business as a UK company in Latin America. Well, Latin America, they live on WhatsApp, especially Brazil. It's unbelievable. They really do everything. When there was the outage, 1 year ago of WhatsApp, I think in Rio de Janeiro only, it was 6,000 businesses could not be reached because WhatsApp was down. But here in Western Europe, let's say the more traditional market, we like to call. And so you have all those communication channels that you have and that you want to integrate in your Microsoft Teams. And Microsoft Teams calls that the strategy Teams as a platform, right? So you want to integrate not only the way that you communicate with your colleagues, but also the way to how to communicate with your business or with your customers. And not integrating this solution in the right way, for example with separate solutions, point solutions, or you really can run into trouble. And even worse, you see, and it was last week I talked with a large company from Germany, so that's, I don't know, any Germans in the room know, but basically they're very scared of compliancy and other problems. So they say, well, it's not allowed to use WhatsApp, for example. But still, people are using WhatsApp, and then you get a lot of shadow IT, because you ignore the fact that there is a need of communication. So there's a need for communication on several ways, so you have to integrate it to avoid the shadow IT, which is can be really pain, and of course is silo IT as well. Making your IT infrastructure too complex, too hard to manage, etc. And not integrating, or it makes also avoids the possibility to make the communication part of your business processes, to accelerate your workflows, to be able to do something actually with the data, because it's business data, so you want to learn from it, you want to get insights. And I already mentioned the compliance and operational risk, but using point solutions, meaning double user management, etc. So that can really be one big mess. So guess what? Of course, Roger365 can solve this. So with Roger365, we merge, let's say, omni-channel into Microsoft Teams. And so at the left side, you see contact center and social messaging. So let's say we split the omni-channel into two, because one is contact center, so that's, let's say, the calling side of it, and social messaging is the WhatsApp, web chat, and other, let's say, modern technologies. Because they have different type of needs. So calling is much more direct, and chat can have some delays. But basically what happens is you have contact center integration and social messaging integration, and that goes over our platform. And in our platform, we have all sorts of tools, the flow designers, reporting, possibilities to add chatbot technology, if you talk about web chat and other type of communication channels. CRM integration, so with Dynamics or with Salesforce or with HubSpot or Zoho, you name it. But the communication is always from Microsoft Teams. So the communication is not from any other platform, and Roger365 integrates with CRM as let's say, as a source, so you can detect who is contacting you, but it's not, let's say, embedded into the CRM. So Teams is the only client your users need to communicate over all those channels. And with the integration of Power Platform and other low-code, no-code things, you can eventually also integrate this communication with other workflows or other systems. So the best way using or to centralize your communication into Microsoft Teams is using a platform that is designed to do that, right? So from Roger365 is we're a relatively young company, around 3 years old now, but from the start we said, okay, we focus on Microsoft, we focus on the latest technologies, and we focus on Microsoft Teams. And no Teams, no customer for us. And by using the power of, let's say, the flow engine and those integration possibilities, you can really improve the customer satisfaction and enabling, all the communication channels and get them all in Teams. Boost your productivity, accelerate your workflows, as I mentioned, but also get insight, because everything goes now through the same platform. Everything is pushed into Teams. So yeah, you can make reports, you can extract data out of systems, so you can learn from your own communication. And it doesn't matter anymore if it's a call, web chat, or whatever, it's all there. And because we're seamlessly integrated in the Azure AD structure and Teams and security stuff, there's no double user management, etc. So it really limits your compliance risk, and it gives all the possibilities for you as a business to do what's important for you, is get in touch with your customers. So zooming in a little bit on some of those, let's say, features and benefits. So this is as I mentioned, we have that flow engine, and that flow engine gives our partners, so we have an indirect model. We sell via Microsoft partners. Give our partners the possibility to cover, like say, every use case that a customer has. It gives a lot of flexibility. Think about if a call comes in, check the customer's phone number. Is it a priority customer? Move it to this queue. Is it this or that? Do this. If it's, I don't know, schedule. If it's a timeout, or in the weekends do something else with the call, or ask for PIN code, skill-based routing. There are really endless number of possibilities with this flow engine. With our agent app, and in the short video I'll show you more possibilities. You have not only an overview who's calling and who's in the queue and your agents and things like that, but there's also a right panel. You see there a CRM panel where you can customize and put anything you want in there, because you know who's calling, it's the identity. You can connect, for example, with a CRM, so you get really the 360 customer degree view that you really need. Get more insights on your campaigns and all that great stuff. With the APIs, the possibilities are also, give you a lot of possibilities as well. As you may remember that previous image where there's an API. Using those APIs, you can make communication part of your work process. Maybe a good example is a small insurance company here in the UK, a car insurance company. They enabled the WhatsApp communication. They receive a WhatsApp message. The WhatsApp message says, hey, there's, I don't know, my car's broken. So then there's a process triggered that sends a form to this person on his phone. They fill in the form, and at the same time a car is arranged, and people, the other party of the insurance is taken care of, etc. So without any interference, let's say, of a person, you can do already a lot of automatically processes and still be very service oriented and make sure that your customers get the best service that they need or they require. Because there's one thing actually, is that if I look at myself, if I don't get service nowadays from a business, the next time I go somewhere else. So it's key for every business to be available and have these processes in place, but at the same time have it integrated in such a way that it doesn't be a burden for the organization anymore. And with the integration of the seamless integration, there's no need for your sales or for your support or for the other departments to have their own personal devices anymore. So you can really avoid the shadow IT, get everything centralized, make sure it's secure, you can find it back, etc. And because of the seamless integration in Teams and of course with the security policies and things like that, there's no double user management. Everything is taken care of as is for you. Let's say out of the box. You have already taken care of it, you have already configured it, so why should you double that? This is an example of one of our customers. It's a Dutch, Belgium customer. They rent welding machines, and then the big industrial machines. They have around 9 locations, and almost. One of the biggest challenges is that the people they rent it to, the other companies they're renting it to, they are on the construction site, right? So they don't have an office or whatever. So the guys or girls that are working at the construction, and tomorrow they need that welding machine. So what do they have? They have their mobile phone, right? So they call, or someone will send an app or whatever. But for that Lost Partners company, it was one big mess, right? They didn't know, because if I call first and later on send a WhatsApp message, I'm still the same customer, but does your system know it's the same customer, right? So merging all these communication channels gave them the possibility not only to service their customers in the best way, so using Microsoft Teams as their central hub, but being able, with the CRM integration, they will be able to have, make sure there's a single truth, one customer, maybe multiple requests from different places, but still the same customer. And in that way, they could also advise the customer better, and they actually increase their service level, and that's very important, right? If you're standing on a construction site and that welding machine is not coming because you accidentally called instead of sending a WhatsApp message, or the other way around, that screws the business, right? So they, so for they're very happy guys with, as I said, 9 locations with Teams as their communication platform, and of course Roger365 enabling all that. So here's a short video. I will start it. And just pause it for a sec. So this is our Teams app. You can also find it in the app store, so it's Microsoft certified. In the app stores you can find it. Just go to Teams app, search for Roger365, and then you can find it, you can install it. And this is how it looks like, and just real quick, you have here at the left side the calls that are in the queue, how many calls are in the queue, some history about the queue. You can see your colleagues, how many are ready, not ready, etc. So let me run this video. And at the right panel, there is, you see the word Power Frame, and that's where you can cover many scenarios, because that's a free window, I would say, where you can build any type of solution. So in this case, a call comes in, agent picks up the call, and at the right side you see that in this case the top desk window is triggered, getting more information about the customer, getting open, if there's an open ticket, the 2 buttons you can create, or an instant yes or no, the possibility to forward a call, let's say to a second line support guy, make a callback request. You can also trigger another process. So this is not only we provide some functionality, but also the possibility to trigger another process instead of just callback request. Maybe, I don't know, create a callback request, but create a workflow behind it. And you can, like a lot of stuff is you can wrap up the call, or put this away, let's say, this call, and keep it in your interaction for later on. Maybe it's very busy in your queue, so you can later on wrap up the call and take care of it. At the top you see agent, reporting, and supervisor. So with role-based access, you can have access to this, to these options. To the supervisor, of course, you can monitor all the queues, the agent. If there are active calls, you can join a call, for example. So you can really use it like a wall board, right? Sometimes you can pop it out if you like from Teams. But here you can have a complete overview of what's going on with all the calls in your organization. And last but not least, there's reporting. We provide heat maps, queue summary, details, things like that, but also about the agents and what they're about to, what they did. And all this data can also be extracted manually, so you can click on export. But we also have APIs where you can, let's say, automatically or scheduled period of time extract the data and build your own Power BI or other type of reports based on that data. And that becomes very valuable, because if you can combine this data with other data, then you get the real good stuff, because then you really understand what can understand and improve your business processes. So to summarize this, with Roger365 you can standardize all your communication in Microsoft Teams. So Roger365, I learned today that if I talk real quick, I'd say Roger365, so Roger365. You can solve, let's say, your omni-channel challenge in the right way by making Teams the central communication hub in your organization. There's no point solutions anymore. There's no, I will not say no shadow IT, because that's very hard to get rid of, but there's no reason to have, shadow IT. With the integration with the Power Platform or other no-code, low-code solution, you can make the communication part of your business process and really accelerate your workflows. And because of seamless integration in Teams, you really limit your compliance, your operational risk as well. And besides of me telling this story and explaining what Roger365 is also another important reason why I'm standing here, is because we're looking for Microsoft Teams partners that like to join us and develop the market even more here in the UK or internationally. Right now we have globally around 15 partners from in the UK to South Africa to Latin America, Australia, US, whatever. But there's, especially in this market in the UK, there's a lot of room for more partners. Because what we see is that our partners, besides being able to, let's say, sell value on top of Microsoft Teams, so make them, let's say, more important at the customer, they can really increase the value of the sale as well, because they not only can add a solution, but also add additional services, implementations on top of our platform, using, for example, the Power Frame solution. And we've seen some good examples of these partners that are building their own integration, for example, with Topdesk, not the one I showed, but the one that's much better, but also HubSpot, for example, and they built their own business model on top of our model. So if you're interested to explore, let's say, the market together with us and see if we have, if you're interested in Roger365 as a partner, great, please reach out to me. Or as a customer, even better, of course. But we do look for partners that understand, let's say, the Teams as a platform scenario, and understand that there is a need for, as a partner to do more than just selling Teams. Because, a little bit over-exaggerating, but as a customer I can switch on Teams myself, go to the website and I'm done, right? What's the value you as a partner? And we think with our solution we can add more value to the sale, to the customer, and hopefully you think the same way. It leaves me about 2 minutes for some Q&As. Don't give me too hard technical questions, if there are any, but because I'm just a sales guy. But if you.
Do you plan to integrate call recording into your platform?
That's a good question. We hear that quite often. So let me repeat, because I'm not sure if everybody heard it. But the question is, if we plan to add call recording? The short-term answer is no. But we're looking for alliances with parties that have call recording, let's say, because we think, especially if you talk about compliance recording, it's a whole different game. So we think we're good at omni-channel integration in Teams, and others will be very good in call recording, and together we have the solution. But yeah.
One more, sorry. What CRMs do you support?
Sorry?
What CRMs do you support?
The CRMs?
CRM.
Oh, CRM, sorry. Getting old. Out of the box, Dynamics, Salesforce, HubSpot, Topdesk, Zoho, a very small Dutch company called Exact, which probably you don't know of. I probably forgot one, but no, but we have an API, and that's also where some partners jump in, right? So especially the HubSpot one, there's a partner in Switzerland that's building a whole HubSpot integration, put it in the HubSpot store, and sell HubSpot integration for contact center for Teams. But ServiceNow, if we can talk about it, of course.
I can't go.
So bam!
Hi, I just wanted to ask whether email was a channel that you could support?
Email, no. We thought about it, but said, okay, we'll leave it out of the equation. And there's so many options to get email. Teams itself can have, of course, an email address channel, and I'm not super expert there, but no email. You throw it.
No, people value their heads.
So the target market for the Roger365 contact center, are we looking at SMEs, small to medium businesses? Are we looking at enterprise? Does it scale to, from one to the other?
Yeah, good question. What you see is that we don't. Our target market are not what we call the call centers. So the departments with, let's say, 500 people picking up phones. There are other solutions for it. Our target markets are companies that use Teams as a platform strategy, and I would say 50 plus until above. The size of the company doesn't really matter in a way, but it's more the size of the department that matters. We have customers in Germany, for example, that has 350 agents using our solution, and it's a huge company. But it's, I think, 50,000 employees, but let's say just 350 of them use our solution. So it's a matter of thought and a matter of strategy of the company. Thank you. Good question.
And the functionality in terms of the contact center, because when you get into contact centers, there are agent-based contact centers, which look at like skills-based routing and so on, versus just a queue-based contact center, which is you're just going to be ringing a queue, whoever's in that queue picks up. So in terms of the functionality that Roger365 offers, is it just queue-based or is it more agent-based? Can we do skills-based routing?
Yeah, you can. So you can do skill-based routing. With that flow engine I showed, let's say, sort of slide 6 or 7 or something, you can do all sorts of routing and also skill-based routing as well. But also routing based on customer data, or routing based on time, or routing based on whatever you like. Yeah.
So where can people find you if they've got further questions?
Yeah, good. That's a good question. Find us at booth 26. We'll be there today, and we'll be, of course, here tomorrow. You'll be here tomorrow as well. Me and my colleagues, we're the 3 of us here now to help you guys. If there's any questions, you can also scan this QR code. Then it's my LinkedIn profile if you like that. But you can visit me over there as well. So I think we're 3 minutes late, but thank you very much for your time, and hope to see you soon at booth 26.
Thank you.